Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your March 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again, a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is not me. They are a scammer. Do not be scammed. I will not be soliciting you for anything. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Perfect. Now let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Fantastic. Now let's see what the chakra energy is for this time. How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. This one right here. And then we're going to look for the spirit guidance for this time. How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Now the left-hand side is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And we're going to see how all this, the moon, the tarot, the chakra energy, the spirit energy, all correlates. So we start off with the Nine of Swords. We then have the Four of Cups. So there's a nightmare that needs to be faced, and there's a gift that comes that doesn't feel like a gift. And the Seven of Pentacles, there's patience that's needed as the Seven of Cups comes, as dreams come forward. So it's nightmares battling with dreams. And we might find that our dreams can be a little bit intense during this time, a little bit more on the, I don't want to say negative side, but we can find that we have a nightmare here or there, or that we're, having restless night sleeps, because there's something about fear that's blocking our dreams. And there's something here with having patience to be able to take the gift that divinity is giving. So that's going to be very interesting. It's very in line with this conflict, because we have the full moon in Libra, which is, ruled by Venus, right? And then we have the sun in Aries, and these are polarizing aspects. So Venus is also going to be in alignment with Aries during this time with the sun. So there is the sense of this dual power coming forward and kind of pulling us into very separate but very powerful directions. We then have the star, which is absolutely beautiful. This is Aquarius energy, time frame January 20th to February 18th. The King of Pentacles comes forward, earth sign energy, which of course is you, Virgo, coming through. And we're coming through here as a king. So there's a immense power to the energy that's here. It opens up the world to us. And the devil comes forward, which is Capricorn energy, which is kind of like dealing with the nightmares, dealing with the devil, with things that just want to pull us down. We have the King of Wands. The repeat of the kings here show this sacred masculine energy coming forward really quite beautifully. And the King of Wands is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is amplifying the Aries energy, not only of the sun, but of the new moon on the 12th of April. We have the Two of Pentacles, balance is needed. The Knight of Wands, we're passionately fighting for what we want. And the Emperor coming forward, just amplifying that Aries energy even more. So it really is quite intense here, Virgo, at this time. Okay. So let's start talking about this moon, the sun, everything that's going on in the cosmos, during this time, and everything that's going to be affecting us. So the full moon always tells us to surrender to the divine, because that is where our power is. And during this time, we're going to see that we have a lot of fears, we have a lot of doubts, and we have a lot of questions. And that's very human of us, isn't it? But we need to release, because what we're going to find with the full moon in Libra is that a win-win outcome is forecast. It's like we're protected, and we're guided towards a win during this time if we can get things balanced. But if we let things stay topsy-turvy or overwhelming, things are going to be harder to get to where we want them to be. And so with the full moon in Libra, we're also going to find that during this time, as stated earlier, Venus, the sun, and Chiron are all aligned. And Chiron is known as the wounded warrior. And so we're going to find that wounds from our past start to come forward. And we start to highlight these wounds from our past. And revelations start to be made. Things start to become clear. And it has us embodying the healing of Chiron and Venus coming together, and this sense of love, this sense of beauty, which is very amplified by this full moon in Libra, is coming together with the sense of just do it, just let's move forward, let us, it's almost like burn the past. And it's not burn the past because I don't want it, but cleanse it, heal it, make it so that it cannot, cut me down. And then that moves us to the fact that Mercury and Neptune are in Pisces, and this is telling us to get out of our own heads and start forgiving, not only others, but also ourselves for what we could not change. And this also talks about ancestral healing with whomever raised us, with our DNA line, with, our past lifeline. This is a sense of healing the pains that not only we had, but that we inherited from others. And so this leads us to a very important cleanse that starts to move us forward. And the moon at this time is going to make a perfect triangle with Saturn and Mars, which is called the Grand Trine. And this brings fantastic protection, harmony, and ease into our lives. And Mars and Saturn are not like, the sit back and relax type of planets. They're very intense planets. And this gives us a heightened sense of determination, motivation, and staying power. We really want to see things get done. Now, the polarizing aspects of Aries and Libra start coming in. And Aries wants us to focus on ourselves, and Libra wants us to focus on others. And that's going to be part of the balancing the scales that we have here. We're also balancing the scales from the present place that we want to be and the healing from the past that we have to, address before we can. And so a lot of this can become confusing, but it's a juggling act. And what divinity is saying, especially in the public arena, in order to succeed, it's like, stop juggling. Stop juggling and start focusing on you. Start focusing on well-being, start focusing on centering, start focusing on little things that need to be done, devote the attention to that, and then move forward. And it brings us to this place of awareness. Now, the signs of Cancer, Aries, Libra, and Capricorn, because of the moon's alignment, are going to be most affected by this moon. So where we have these signs within our chart, those personality traits are going to come out very intensely during this time. This is also a time where we start to see us needing to resolve conflict. So we start to kind of charge ahead at conflict. It's like, okay, I need this to be resolved. I need this to be looked at. So I'm going to charge ahead and just kind of go for the jugular at this point. It's like, I need to resolve this, and I'm just going to go for it. So we're very brave, but we're also going to be very emotionally invested. So we want to kind of like step back just a little bit and calm things down. There is this beautiful sense of friendliness and politeness during this moon. And so it really heightens our compassion and other people's compassion. So we can really find things being able to be resolved. But we're also going to find that we understand where the narcissistic people are. We understand where the hurtful, chaotic people are in our lives during this time. This is a time where we can really start naming them and saying, okay, I can't change you. I can't get the love I want from you because you're not able to give it. It's just not going to be there. And there's something going to be very freeing about that, Virgo, during this time, but just in life in general. It's like making these huge realizations that start to shift the essence of power. And it leads us to the new moon in Aries, which is greatly affecting us during this whole entire time because, of course, the moon reflects the sun's light. And the moon being in Libra, saying calm and settled and balanced, and reflecting Aries energy, it's like intensity, focus, kind of like, bursts forward. So there's this power to healing during this time that we're not going to be expecting. Now, the new moon in Aries on the 12th is going to start us looking at new beginnings. And it's saying a new start is coming, and it's like, take action now. Just go for it. No day like today, carpe diem, seize the day, go after what you want, and keep on pushing forward. It's going to be such a strong instinct to take the bull by the horns and say, this is what I want, this is where I'm headed, this is what I'm going for. And there's just this huge sense of determination. And what's so interesting here is that we have this healing moon that's really intensely healing and powerful, and we have this empowering new moon, and it gets us ready for the full moon in Scorpio on the 27th of April, and it says it's time to release the negativity, and it is. It's time to release the negativity, it's time to embrace what our soul desires, and it's time to start embracing our world in a really new way. It leads us to the wolf spirit and, the spirit animals for March, which I know we're only in March for a little bit, but it has the wolf spirit and the whale spirit. And the wolf spirit says, turn knowledge into wisdom. And the whale spirit says, trust in the great mysteries. We're not supposed to know everything. And that's part of the turning the knowledge into wisdom. We're not supposed to know everything. We're not supposed to have all the answers. The wisdom comes as we evolve, as we look at things. And the wolf spirit sharpens our intellect and has us having a deeper connection with what we want, but also with freedom, a strong sense of instinct and self, and seeing where we are in the hierarchy of life. And it's like, oh, I didn't realize this. Or, you know what, this isn't the place I want to stay. And so we're going to start making really big shifts within our life to embrace the power that we want, to embrace the space that we want, to really be focused. Now, the whale spirit is super cool because we're trusting in the great mysteries, right? We don't understand everything. We don't always know the answers. And the whale spirit is also symbolic of the great record keeper of the earth. And it's also singing the earth's song. We're very attuned to the energy vibration during this time. What builds us up, what knocks us down, what, moves us forward, what doesn't. And this is saying to us to listen to our inner voice, to listen to our inner song, and connect with the power of our emotions. Now, come April, the spirit animals are the wolf spirit. So once again, we're turning knowledge into wisdom, and we're being protected by that evolution of self and awareness. And then we have the hawk spirit, which says, let spirit be your guide. And this leads us to really getting messages from the spirit world, because spirit is saying, let me guide you. I can see better. I can fly higher than you ever can. Let me guide you. And the hawk is also the messenger of the spirit world. So it's profoundly and powerfully bringing into focus what we need to see. It's giving us this clear vision and this instinct and this increased spiritual awakening. And this instinct to really be drawn towards the spiritual and what we desire. It leads us then to the chakra energy, which is psychic development, which is the third eye chakra. We're developing psychically, we're developing instinctually, we're looking at things, our third eye is opening, and a lot of our intuition is coming forward, which can really bring forward our fears. Because when our intuition comes forward, when our psychic development comes, we're not able to hide away from things. We might find that we don't like quiet during this time. We might find that we really want to be surrounded by people and noise and just all the things that make us feel alive. But where we're really going to start feeling alive is in the quiet sanctuary of ourselves, is in deep meditation, is in gardening, is in connecting with the earth. And this leads us to a sense of being able to see our path a bit more clearly, whether we want to or whether we don't. And so here we're going to have to fight against that instinct to run away from the psychic development, from this increased sense of self and power, understanding, and brilliant truth. It leads us then to our spirit guide message, which is blossom. We are blossoming. We are becoming more than what we thought we could be. We are opening up our world in a really beautiful way. And we are blossoming into ourselves. And there is a sense of feeling like we're coming home. And that's really beautiful. We start off with our inner selves with the Nine of Swords. We have to face the nightmares. We have to face the fears in order to achieve the goals. And so there's doubt, there's hesitation, there can be bad night's sleeps, there can be a sense of impending doom because we're letting ourselves fall into darkness and despair. It can also be that something kind of triggers us in some way, and it can be something really silly that we're looking at it and it makes us unreasonably angry because it brings up a lot of fears that we have. These fears can be from childhood, of course, but it's a sense of, why does this get to move forward for this person like this, and this doesn't get to move forward for me? Or why do people who always lie, cheat, and steal get to win? And it becomes part of our nightmares. Like, what if hard work and discipline and dedication don't mean anything? Our fears come forward. And when we voice our fears, when we face our fears, there is a sense of owning them. But there is also a sense of kind of giving them power. So we're speaking a nightmare forward. And in old traditions in the ancient world, it was like, do not speak the name of something evil because it will bring it into our existence more. There is a sense of realization of this negativity. And there is a sense of a claiming of it. We might not want to speak it out loud because it might start to give it a power of its own. But there is a sense of looking at this darkness, looking at this fear, and really coming to some major conclusions, really coming to some major shifts about things. And it leads us to kind of, I love that, having our eyes wide open when we're looking at our fears. And it's like, well, what if? What if the nightmare came true? What if, and it's putting into focus. It's like, well, that's not okay. I can't do that. So this has to be my path. Like, this has to be my truth. Meaning, like, I can't give up on myself. I can't let everybody else's fears feed into my fears and become my reality. I need to focus myself and hone myself and say, okay, well, maybe this didn't work, but maybe this will. And all of a sudden start to bring things into alignment and say to our fears in a very real way, I'm not letting you destroy me. And I'm going to prove to all those who doubt that there is more to me than you could possibly have realized. And it leads us to the Four of Cups. It leads us to getting a gift, which I'm actually seeing here as having to face these fears. And it doesn't feel like a gift, because fear does not feel like a gift at all. It feels like the anti-gift, right? And so here we're looking at what has pushed us out of our comfort zone, what has made us have to juggle things a bit more, even though Spirit is saying here we're stopping the juggling in a very real sense in the public arena. But in our inner selves, we're going to see that something that had this huge impact on us was a gift. And it didn't seem like a gift. It was like the times where we cried ourselves to sleep at night for like a year or better. The times where we thought we were in utter despair. Those are the times that define us. That either we fall into that despair or we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and say, no, I'm not doing that. And this is one of those times. This is one of the times where we're really looking at things and saying, I am not being defeated. I am so freaking focused and determined and dedicated to this grand plan of universal awareness that I am not going to stop now. And it brings us to the Seven of Pentacles. Now, we have the repeat of the number 7, which means truth is astoundingly important to us, which it usually is, Virgo. Though we can be compassionate with things, we're still very kind of, it can be discriminating at times. It's like, this is either truth or it is lie. Like, either yes or no, no in between. And I know discerning probably is a better word to use, but it's going to be a very powerful time. This is also going to be a time where even if we say something that is just a little bit untrue, we will be called out. And it's going to get frustrating. But it's also saying to us, speak our truth. Speak with confidence and with assurity and see where that takes us. It brings us with the Seven of Pentacles to this place of balance, to this place of understanding, to this place of reasoning, to this place where we realize that I cannot move the mountains. Divinity needs to move the mountains. I am planting the seeds, but if the soil doesn't nourish them, if the sun doesn't warm them, if the water doesn't, feed them, I can't do it. And so it's starting to see that we need divinity's aid in order to move us forward in power, in brilliance, in beauty, in truth of understanding, and in opening up the door. And so there is this power here that starts to move us forward. And there is this patience that becomes a part of us. We might not want it or like it, but it definitely becomes a part of us. It leads us to our dreams. And it's funny that our nightmares and our nightmares crown us, so our nightmares are going to be more prevalent, but our dreams root us. They're what hold us together and keep us grounded in our bounty, in our understanding, in our brilliance, in our truth. So the Seven of Cups is the sense of beauty coming forward, of looking at our dreams and saying, why not? Why can't I? Why can't I see things differently? Why can't I look at it a different way? Why can't I let my dreams come forward? Why can't I, look at that dream that I had and say, okay, well, that was naive the way I set it up when I was like 15. But now that I know more and I've lived more and I understand more, I can bring that dream forward and start to make it part of my reality, start to make it part of my world. And it brings us then to the stars. The stars are our dreams and our wishes and our hopes and our desires and our soul's desire coming forward. And this is divinity looking at what we truly want, not what we tell everybody we want, but what our soul is deeply longing for. And that starts to come into our life, which is scary and overwhelming at times, but also beautiful and serenity building and really gaining this great understanding. The star is the highest form of man's perfection. It's what we look to guide us. We see this time and time again in mythologies and religions and in histories. The stars guide. And so here we're looking to be guided. We're looking to be guided out of fear into awakening, into wisdom, into greater understanding. And that's what divinity is doing by granting a wish. And it's going to be granted in such a way that we don't know it was granted, but that we really feel the power deep down inside of us. It brings us then to the King of Pentacles, to ourselves, to this place of mastery, to this place of sacred masculine energy, to this place of determination and focus and power and understanding and brilliance and beauty, and to this place of this is me. This is what I want. This is what I desire within my life. This is the way I'm connecting with what I'm planting, with the seeds that I planted, with the the things that I'm looking for, with what it is that I want within my world, with what it is that I need within my world. And all of a sudden, I start to open to this truth. I start to open to myself, to where I want to be, to where I long to be, to what it is that I deeply need. And we start to see the interconnectedness of things, of places and people and understandings. And we start to see where we begin. We start to see what we desire. And I know that's an odd thing to say, where we begin, but it's like the seeds that we were planted with, the dreams that we were planted with, the wishes that we were planted with. They really start to come to the forefront, which is quite beautiful. And it leads us then to the world opening in a very real and powerful way. It leads us to an inspiration. It leads us to not being so scared and overwhelmed. It leads us to greater insight, greater ideas. Because if you stumbled across this channel, if you're part of this family, you are most likely highly empathic and you're wanting more out of life. Now, this makes life more difficult. Why? Because we feel things more intensely, and because narcissists and negative people kind of make a beeline for us because we're the greatest energy source. So here we're looking at the way that we desire moving forward, the way that we want to find our place within the world. And instead of saying, well, it just doesn't matter, it just, let me see where I end up, there's a forcefulness to this time. It's like, no, this is what I want. This is who I am. I'm naming it. I'm claiming it. I'm seeing it. I'm feeling it. I'm empowered by it. And I'm moving forward in this intensely brilliant direction towards the powerful, brilliant, and focused me. And that brings us to really, like claiming our space within this world, very much empowered by the wolf spirit, but also very much empowered by our own voice, our own understanding, our own intensity of self. And we're looking at the devil. So it's so interesting because we have this repeated in the public arena and in the inner arena, in ourselves and in our heart self. So we have nightmares and dreams. We have dreams and we have nightmares. We have them reversed, right? So we have this beautiful dichotomy of the dream coming forward and then the nightmare coming in. It's like, can I do this? The devil is saying, well, why can't you be like everybody else? And why do you have to be weak? And why can't you fight forward? And what's wrong with you? And questions and doubts and fears and negativity and chaos. It comes and it comes and it comes. It's saying, this is how the world wants you to be. Why can't you fit in? And it's like, why should I fit in? This is how my soul desires me to be. This is how I long to move forward. This is what I want for myself, from myself, as I embrace my world. What is wrong with breaking the chains that try to hold me back? And there comes a powerful shift during this time. It's like, it's a power game. And it's a power game between the realization of dreams and the death of them. And that sounds dramatic to say. I do understand. But it is needed to say, because there is this huge kind of turning of events, shifting of self and perspective and desires and wishes. And it leads us to the King of Wands. It leads us in the public arena to being the king, to being the forceful form of transformation, of passion and power and desire and what lights the fire in our life, and saying, this is what I want from my world. This is where I need to be. This is what I desire from me. And all of a sudden, we're changing the game. All of a sudden, we're looking at things more honestly, more intensely, more prophetically, more in tune with our skills, with our desires, with our hopes. And it brings us into finding balance with ourselves and saying, if I'm balancing everything, but not balancing me, what is the point? It's kind of like having to put in an airplane, having to put the mask on ourselves before we put it on the person sitting next to us, right? The child sitting next to us or whomever needs aid. It's like we have to take care of ourselves. And it's not selfish. It's not egotistical. It's not, anything negative. It's saying, as a caring, giving, nurturing person, we will give and we will give and we will give till there is nothing left. And then we will still be trying to balance everything for everyone else. This is the time where we say, stop. Stop with the chaos. Stop with the overwhelmed. Let me break it down. It doesn't have to always be juggled. It can be compartmentalized. It can be broken down. It can be inspired. It can be understood. But I need to find stable ground, steady footing, and I need to make clear boundaries between things. It can be between work and home. It can be between, dreams and what needs to get done. It can be between many, many things. But it's making these distinctions and calling upon this power to lead us forward. And it brings us then to being a defender. During this time, we are the ruler. We're crowned by being the ruler of our passions and our desires. Here we are the defender. Why do we have to passionately defend this? Because it is going to come under attack. We're at times going to feel as if we're coming under attack, as if moving forward in what we desire and what we long for in that pit of bliss is the one thing that we can't do. And that's unacceptable during this time. During this time in the public arena, it's like I need to make time for my heart, my soul, my passion, my power, myself, my brilliance. I need to embrace this grace. And it's passionately holding forward our fire, our instinctual self, our, greatness of understanding, our creativity, and letting it shine within our world. And it doesn't matter if we are completely, left-brained or right-brained, letting this passion shine forward is going to be so inspirational and set us apart from everybody else. And it leads us to really the Emperor is coming through in the public arena in an astounding way, because this amplifies the Emperor energy. The King of Wands, the Knight of Wands, amplifies the Emperor energy, who is a fire sign energy, represented by the Wands in the Minor Arcana, and represented, of course, by the Emperor, by Aries, in the Major Arcana. So here we have this Aries energy coming forward, this power, this focus that really draws us to the new beginnings of the new moon, that really draws us into this sun period of Aries, this reflective energy that is in a bit of a battle with Libra. And Libra is saying, calm and peaceful and healing and balancing and harmony. And Aries is saying, yeah, that's great, but I need to get done what I need to get done. And I need to just do it. I need to stop thinking about it, stop thinking about how everybody else is going to feel, stop, questioning myself 18 different ways to Sunday, and just go for the gold. And that's what we're going to be doing during this time in the public arena. If there is something you want to get done, if there is something that you've been putting off or thinking about and contemplating and saying, oh, I can't, this is the time to do it. This is the time to conquer, to get things done, to send out the resumes, to house hunt, to kind of lay down the blueprints, there we go, for a business, for an artistic endeavor, for, creating something, for tinkering with something, for just letting it move forward. This is the time, because we're claiming the throne. We're claiming the throne, we're claiming the power, we're claiming the insights, the ideas, and there's a force to us that rockets us forward. And that's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. Okay. Oh, goodness. So let's see what Luna has to say for herself. How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Aries, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Ooh, okay. So we'll see how far we get with these. Okay. Actually, that's going to go there. There we go. How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. So we have acceptance, release, and void. Excuse me. Boundaries, self-reflection. Look at the bigger picture. Oh, okay. It's like we're missing a card. Adjustments are required. A fiery climax approaches. Aries comes through again. Very, very powerful. If you have Aries in your chart, it is going to shine so bright you can't even believe. So just be prepared. I mean, be warned. And then you and your loved ones are safe. So there's an acceptance that needs to be done for the duality of ourselves, for what we want, for what we're longing for. There is an acceptance of nightmares, of fears, of dreams, of joys, and there's a release. We accept what we cannot change. We accept what is out of our control, and there is a release. There is this purging of negative energy. There is this purging of fear and doubt and chaos, and it has us really looking at the void of existence, the void of self, the quiet, the calm. This is why we're going to want to be in the noisiest place possible. We're going to want to be surrounded by people because we need the void. We need the quiet. And it leads us to boundaries being super, super important. We need clear boundaries. We need to draw the line to places and say, this is acceptable. This is not acceptable. This is what I want. This is not what I want. And make it clear. And also to have boundaries for ourselves, to say, okay, when I'm doing this, I'm doing this. When I'm doing that, I'm doing that. And make that clear, because we're reflecting upon ourselves. We're seeing ourselves so many different ways. So many different ways moving forward. So many different ways to being inspired. There's a sense of a reflective understanding coming. And it's like we're looking at ourselves throughout time. And we're actually going to find that we're looking at ourselves also throughout lifetimes. You know, to be inspired, to be warned, and it's like a lot is coming at us, so it can be overwhelming. Look at the bigger picture and take aim at what we truly want. Don't get caught up in what we think we should be wanting. Adjustments are required. We're going to have to adjust what we're aiming at, because what we're aiming at may not always be what we want to hit. It leads us to a fiery climax approaching. There's this fiery intensity pulling us forward, guiding us towards more. And it leads us to you and your loved ones are safe, to a sense of security, a sense of greater understanding, a sense of harmony. The subconscious Luna message is wisdom. We're really embracing and finding our wisdom here, finding our greater understanding. And it brings us to a new romantic cycle starting. So you have astoundingly strong Aries energy, right? And you have astoundingly strong Libra energy. This is the new moon in Libra. So a new romantic cycle starts. We start to fall in love with life again because we're facing these dualities. We have to accept them, both these polarizations and this beauty that brings them together, that binds them forward. It brings us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is inner strength. This is the solar plexus chakra. This is a sense of, kind of coming out of our shells and really listening to the strength of our gut. Our gut is like our second brain. How we feed it, how we listen to it really makes a huge amount of difference. And there's a sense of empowerment, emboldening, greater seeing, greater knowledge, greater truth, greater sense of being. And we're breaking out of our shell. And that's so important. It leads us to our subconscious spirit guiding message, which is here mystical. It's embracing the mystical. It's embracing the wondrous. It's finding the beauty within the transcendent. And it's embracing the mystical again. It's like letting that be part of our lives and our world. And it's the realization of the human spirit with the head, the feet, and the arms. So we're coming together in this wisdom, in this beauty. And it brings us then to our subconscious tarot message, which is another 7, the 7 of Wands. We're learning when to fight and when to step away. When to, assert ourselves. And when to say, you know what, it's just not needed. It's a waste of my energy and my time. And we're going to find that we assert ourselves when we don't need to, and we step away when we need to assert ourselves. And so there's going to be this conflict and this sense of, oh my gosh, I'm not doing the right thing. But we're going to find the balance comes. we're going to find the balance comes. And subconsciously, we're learning this dance, and we're having this energy balance within us, which is so important. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a releasing of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we purge ourselves of so much negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo, and may you have a blessed moon.